children make connections between the character of the story and their own experiences or the people they might know who are similar. By correlating characters who face challenges, they learn to develop empathy, think of solutions, interpret real life situations, encourage them to improvise on the story. The story that you tell them need not be a perfect story. They can change the beginning, they can change the end, they can change the decisions taken by the characters, make an old story new with twists and turns. There are many stories and tales of our childhood about helping each other. Create a new story relevant to their times but with the same core value or message. Well, let me also share with you that you don't have to be a very perfect storyteller, or you do not have to be dramatically very successful to tell a story. It is not because children are a very they're a very forgiving audience. It's not the content that you convey that always matters to them. What matters to them is the connect that you forge with their hearts, and that is grand. And that is why we have this beautiful connect between the grandparent and the grandchildren together. And the beautiful thread of storytelling makes this bond all the more unique and incomparable. Because grandparents are a valuable resource for our children. The wealth of wisdom, information, knowledge, cultural legacies can be passed on through generations. The young listeners and the wise storyteller share a loving experience through past, present, and towards the future. As an extended activity in the primary classes, in fact, you can organize storytelling sessions in the reading rooms or libraries of your school, and volunteer grandparents could come to the school on a weekly basis and narrate stories to these young children. Because grandparents are natural storytellers. They have a bigger purpose than simply entertaining the grandchildren, because they are creating a world of shared legacy, of family history, of life giving wisdom. They make sure that our past goes down to the future generations through the oral tradition. Every life has a story, a real life story based on life's own experiences is always a special story for the children, because they are very eager to hear our stories and know more about us. So the stories that the grandparents tell are beautiful because they are not a lecture, they are not a class. They have emotion, they have drama, they have humor. They bring a smile on the children's faces, a twinkle in their eye. So let's bring the grandparents in our classroom pedagogy, because they are the storytellers who bind us very closely together. So these are the grandparents. Now, as teachers, we can do something else. Now, reflected on your screen now, find some very simple, doable activities for storytelling that we can do. With chalk, you can follow the path activity. It could arouse the curiosity and imagination of the children because they start expressing and communicating their dreams. With a chalk, you can draw a path. You can maybe write the names of characters, maybe an adjective, maybe a little quotation, and the child walks out the path and creates stories in his own way. Roll and tell. This is another beautiful activity which promotes a feeling of feel good and well-being, because it encourages active participation of many children there. There is a dice which has to roll, and whatever comes on the dice, the child has to tell what the story is about. If it is one, if it is two, who are the main characters? If it is six, what questions do you have after you have heard the story? So somebody rolls the dice, and the child said it can be a fair activity, and the other child can narrate after listening to the story what he feels. Now, pick a stick is another very beautiful activity for small children. They can pick up different colored sticks, and after listening to the story, for example, if the child has picked up a blue stick, what is the superpower that you would like to give your character? Okay, What is it? The child picks up a purple stick. We can say, what is a quality that makes you a good friend? So the child, after listening to the story, has also started working upon his own personality. And that is the beauty of it, because it is relatable to his or her own life. And then we have the storyboard. This is something which children are very fond of. They can be pictures on, it can be even conducted digitally. So they can be pictures on one side of the page or the screen, and the child can start writing dialogues or create a story seeing these pictures. So these are some few doable activities which you can incorporate into your classroom. Again, another one is creating a story map, where you can just give theme, character, ending, qualities, values, and the child starts weaving a story depending on what is put up inside. So with these few doable activities, you can start the storytelling process into your classrooms. Now, there's another activity for you in the next slide. There is again a link that is posted on the chat box. So pen down a few benefits for your children if you indulge in such extended storytelling activities in your classrooms. This is a Padley Wall activity. I would like all of you to participate in this. What are some of the benefits that we can bring about for our children if we initiate such extended storytelling activities in our classrooms? So we have, you can just type out two, three words, and we can see the link is on the chat box. You can tap the link. So they become imaginative. Yes, we've got the first response, because storytelling takes them into a world which is far removed from the world of reality. It brings in joy into their life. It brings in, and because it brings in joy, they start feeling confident. They start getting motivated. Oh, there are so many responses, and the Padley wall seems to be almost full. They enjoy the realism. Yes, they start going beyond reality. Hope, it gives them hope that yes, if this character can have certain weaknesses and still rise about it, if I have a certain weakness, I can work hard and be better also. Wonderful. I mean, I would love to take a screenshot of this, because this is a beautiful Padley wall which has got so many inputs by all of you. Thank you so much. So all the responses, they start thinking differently. Yes, some of you have said that. That's, and the vocabulary building. Yes. So with all these responses, one thing is very clear, that as a pedagogic tool, we can use stories to explore even cultural diversity, discover a variety of ways to create stories, bring in the interdisciplinary bridges, and integration in the curriculum, which CBSC has so vehemently propagated time and again, that our subjects don't have to be taught in a compartmentalized pattern. They have to be integrated. They should be bridges. The basic point to remember is that stories go beyond the mere presentation of facts. Instead, they involve the students by engaging their imagination and promoting conceptual connections. So, as a pedagogic tool, stories has so many advantages, as many of you have also reflected in the Padley wall, and this is what we have to bear in mind when we become a storyteller in our classrooms. Now, how do we apply storytelling in a classroom situation? Now, as a teacher, when we prepare notes for a lesson, we take a lot of pain to decide how best we can present our material or academic content while delivering it
Excuse me.
to our students
Yes.
in a manner that is enjoyable, engaging, and meaningful to them. Now, when we start maybe maths, we can probably have or geometry, we probably draw a diagram on the board, or sometimes it can be even a mind map. Sometimes we can even begin with a small lecturing or a recap session. We can even adopt the questioning method, or probably sometimes in the online mode, we can even show them videos. Today, let's consider packaging our teaching content in the form of a story. here are some exemplars that can be tried out in your classrooms. The same information in the curriculum or the textbook is recreated in a manner that is child centric, participative, hardly uses any resources other than the ingenuity and the creativity of the teacher, and we all have a lot of that. So, first way is, let's create a story to illustrate a new concept for our kids. Now, complicated long stories with lots of characters aren't necessarily good stories. The audience is young and impressionable. So let's keep our stories simple, basic, and relatable, as I told you earlier today. Scientific concepts like gravity, friction, electricity are very difficult for a children of class 5 or 6. And because these concepts are very abstract for them. Let's use analogies. For example, to explain electric circuit, let's tell it in the form of a story of how when they travel on the train with their family, how a train can move along only on tracks that are connected to each other. A broken track means that the train has to stop, and so is the case with electricity. So, this whole narration of electricity can be told to them in the form of a story when they go with their family on a railway journey, because trains are something every child loves traveling on a train. Another way is, express a topic or a theme by narrating a story about it. For example, a very common topic like pollution can be introduced through a storyline. Instead of